Oh, righty pal. So I have something to update you all on. Let's get going.
So remember when I said that we were only going to do a £10 budget for the videos? Well, my mother very generously gave me some money for Christmas. So we have £10 back in the budget again.
Which of course means we obviously have to go hit some charity shops and see what we can find. So let's get going. Right, we are on the way to the charity shops. Buzz in, let's do this. Gonna try and find 3 or 4 absolute banger items that we can flip for a profit on eBay. So let's go. Alright, first charity shop that we hit was the one by the local dump. As I said in my previous video, this place takes things out of the dump as well as accepting donations. So you find a lot of good stuff in here, and it does change on the daily, which is one I like to come back to as frequently as I can because you never know what you're going to get. As always when watching the videos, if you spot something I've missed, please do let me know. That way I can increase my knowledge. Now I did find some cricket equipment in here and I was kind of tempted. I found these cricket gloves, and underneath I did find some shin guards. The unfortunate thing is I don't really know sports that well as a flipping area, so I couldn't tell if these were worth anything, but the quality of them didn't look the best, so I did leave them. Should I have got them? Let me know. Moving on from there, I did actually spot this tap out boxing guard. I regret not getting this for my own collection because I do have a good bit of boxing equipment and want to open my own gym one day, so I should have actually got that. This area is carnage. Trying to get out of here is a nightmare. All right, let's get out of here. So I have a few things to update you guys on, which is super interesting. So the first thing is, as well as obviously trying to find things to flip on eBay, I also need to find a new tripod because somehow my last one broke. And I have no idea what could have possibly caused it to break. Got to find ourselves a new tripod. I was going to order one online, but it's £15, so if I can find one in the charity shops, I'd rather just do that. 3 items I bought in the last episode haven't sold yet. There has been some interest, some watchers, but nothing's sold. I think because my eBay store has been inactive for so long, I got to rebuild that seller consistency. I realized I should also, when I get paid every month, I should always top up the budget with £10 if I have to. If we're on 0, I'll top it back up to 10 at the end of the month, because if I don't do that and nothing sells, then I can't really make any more flipping content for you guys, and I want to keep doing that. So that is what we're going to do. The other thing I was going to say is some of the bigger projects and side hustles that are in the works. I have a few actually that it's going to take me a while to film these because they're bigger projects, but as a sort of teaser, if you guys are into Pokemon, I've got a really big project coming with Pokemon, which I'm excited about. I'm also meeting with an entrepreneur next week because we might go into business together. I pitched some ideas to him and he really likes it. So we're going to have a sit-down meeting. And yeah, so potentially I could be starting a new business, which is exciting. Right, enough chit-chatting, jibber-jabbing. Let's go to the next charity shop. This one is huge, but I'm expecting it to be absolutely rammed. That one that we were just in was disgustingly busy and it's tiny. So it's going to be a busy one. Let's go.
All right, so we are making our way into this city hospice. So they call this one a Superstore, but it's actually a really small shop. It did not take me long to walk around this one at all. They have a very tiny section for games, toys, and home goods. I did have a right good rummage around. I could not see anything of value. I think that it was just after Christmas. Everything had obviously been leached already. Had a look in this box to see if I could see anything. There was nothing there. Had a little look at this little card game, looked kind of basic, and then had a little rummage in this toy box, but that was it.
Alright, that last charity shop had nothing in it. It was tiny, all the charity shops are rammed today. This car park, I got the last space, and there's a queue of people behind me trying to get in, so carnage, absolute carnage in the scenes of Cardiff today. It is a beautiful day though, it's freezing cold. So, I'm going to go into this next big one. This one is huge. It's going to be rammed, and hopefully we find something. And that last small one, I managed to find myself a few smart clothes, which is nice, but nothing for flipping or reselling. So let's go see what we can find in this one.
So with this one, I thought I was going to get lucky. This employee here had a trolley full of new stock that he just pulled out, and straight away I noticed a game on the top, and I was like, booyah, he's got games that no one's looked at yet. I had a rummage, but unfortunately all of the titles were the kind of generic football games. There's nothing there. Had a look at these interesting tins for myself, but couldn't really think of a use for them. They've so much crockery in this store. I spent ages looking around to see if I could find something unique. This little mug stood out to me. Turns out it wasn't a mug, and it was a little like paper lantern thing. So I had a right good rummage around this shop. They do have a massive section for toys and board games. Again, if you spotted something I've missed, please do let me know. But in terms of the games, I couldn't see anything that I thought would sell, especially after Christmas, as at this point it's a little bit harder to sell board games. But obviously if I'm wrong and you know a game that I've missed, let me know. And then as I was looking around the technology section, I did spot this metal detector, and I was quite interested in it, especially at a $5. But the condition looked pretty naff, and I couldn't see a good brand on it, so I thought it would be a bit of a gamble and it would be such an awkward thing to ship, so unfortunately I left it.
Mildly unsuccessful. I can't get out, mate. Oh my gosh. I'm stuck again. The traffic situation here is ridiculous. There's like 10 people trying to get out, but because people are piling in, no one can actually turn around to get out. Can I get out? Are you gonna let me out? I'm gonna try. Oh my gosh. No. You can't, there's not enough room. You're gonna have to go back. Whoa, craziness. All right, we're out of there. Good God, this is carnage. I can't wait to be on the road again. Success rate, 0 so far. Honest to God, there's nothing in the shops. You can tell that from the moment they opened, they've had resellers ravaging them. There's nothing in them. As I was in that last shop there, I actually did see another reseller, because a member of staff came out with a shopping trolley full of games, and this guy was straight in there. Didn't even wait for the shop attendant to put the games out. He was rummaging, he was digging, he had eBay straight up on his phone, he was researching them. There was nothing in there, it was all crap. But this guy was desperate. Oh my God, what is this sun? People shouldn't be allowed to drive when the sun's out. It's blinding. This is actual carnage. I kind of regret my decision to try and go to this last charity shop, because I am not going to get parked, and if I do get parked, I am not getting out. I'm out the game a little bit. I got to get back into the reselling mindset and find the things that are worth the dollar. So if you've spotted anything so far, be sure to let me know, but I'd be amazed if you have, because honestly, the shelves are bereft. There's hee-haw in them. Right, let's go check out this last one.
So this last charity shop is one of my personal favourites. My success rate in here is usually a little bit higher, just because they have such a good range of stuff and it's always really affordable. Started off as I always do, looking at the crockery, and then quickly flipped around to look at the Amazon returns box. Normally there's some good stuff in here, and I did have a good rummage to see what I could find. The only sort of thing that jumped out to me was some of the fitness equipment. I was quite interested in the potential of a resale there. I did find these boxing head ball things. I do have a set of them in the house, they're really good, but I just wasn't sure if there's any resale value in them. I don't know if that's something that people normally buy. And then in this crate here, I did find these resistance bands. Now these I were really tempted by. I've actually had some success bulk buying resistance bands in the past. I was able to make quite a bit of money on resistance bands, but I actually couldn't tell if these were resistance bands just because of the nature of the pack, nor could I check the quality of them, so I did make the decision to leave them. Should I have gone back and gotten them? Let me know. Swinging back round to look once again at their big wall of homeware stuff, I did spot this Friends VHS tape. I don't quite know what it was. Even now as I edit this, I'm still not sure what I'm looking at. It was interesting, but because I couldn't identify what it was, I thought, you know what, if I don't know what it is, what's the chance that other people do? So I left that. It didn't seem like it was gonna do much for me. Once again, a massive wall of board games and toys. They did have these bags of figures for about £3 to £5 each. I was really interested in these because I've had some success with these in the past as well, where I found some. Because it was dinosaurs, I was looking for the brand Schleik, or Schleik, however you pronounce it. Nothing jumped out to me though, and I couldn't see any obvious branding, so I decided to leave those. I did have a little another rummage. As I made my way around, I had a look at all the clothes. And then I finished on this big box of teddies. I did spend quite a while rummaging through. I found Manny, which I was quite interested in because it looked in really good condition. It was only £3, so I was tempted, but I did leave it in the end. In retrospect, I probably should have picked up some of the sort of Disney Pixar toys because I have had some success flipping them in the past, so potentially I should have got that one. What do you think? Should I have picked up Manny, or have you spotted something else of greater value that I've missed? Let me know. Unfortunately though, I couldn't find anything. I did double check through the store again, so I went back and looked at all the board games. Again, they just all looked like your generic board games, nothing of any resale value. I did go back to the homeware and the Amazon box, but ultimately couldn't find anything. Right, we are home, and although we didn't have any pickups, I do have some stock to show you. So when I moved into my own place and I cleared out all my old stock, I gave a lot of it to charity shops, I took a lot of it to car boot sales, and I thought I got rid of all of it. So a couple of days ago I was doing a bit of a clear out, and I found a box in my cupboard, and I was like, what is in this? And it turns out there was a couple leftover eBay stock items. So I'm going to relist these on my eBay. So we actually do have more inventory, which is great. So I'm going to show you what these are now and get your thoughts on them. So the first item is this. This is an old school CD player. I picked this up from a charity shop for $5 and I've never tested it. I actually might chuck some batteries in it and test it. I don't own a CD. I'm going to have to find a CD and then I'm going to get it tested and get that listed. These are some slide gloves for downhill longboarding. So these were actually not something I got from a charity shop, but these are mine. I used to do downhill longboarding and they're in pretty good condition. Well, I don't downhill longboard anymore. I figured I might as well list these, so see if I can get something for them. Next is this collection of books. I've got 10 in the series, and they are the Darren Shaw, but they're the Manga version. Now, I stumbled across these in a charity shop, and was quite surprised to see Darren Shaw as a manga. So I haven't even read them. I probably should, to be fair. They're probably very good. This next item is actually, I managed to sell the majority, but back when I launched this channel, I bought a collection of board games off a guy on Facebook. I've sold most of them, but I've got 3 remaining. I've got a game called Great Scott, a game called Microfilms, and a game I can't really pronounce called Prohis. They are all foreign, but there is English instructions on them. They do look quite fun, to be fair. So I'm going to list them as a bundle, because I think when I listed them in the past, I listed them individually and they didn't shift. So I'm going to do them as a bundle deal for maybe like $20. And then the final thing that I have to list, this one's going to be a nightmare to ship. Good choice of words, actually. This is a boat. Unopened, never used boat. I actually bought this about 4 years ago with the intention of going on the water, and I never did. And it sat in my cupboard for years, still got the tape on it, still unopened, and I thought, you know what, I'm probably never going to use it. I might as well try and get something for it. So I'm going to get those items listed up to increase our inventory.
And yeah, hopefully we start making some sales. Right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Sorry I didn't manage to get any pickups at the shops, but if you did see something, please do let me know in the comments, because the more people point out things I've missed, the more I learn about what is worth stuff, and then the more I can hunt for these things in the future. So your comments are super valuable, and also it just helps this video reach the algorithm and get more people. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. So yeah, comment below your thoughts on today's video, and until next time, I'll catch you after.